Hi, we join again for Form 2 Science, Chapter 3 Nutrition, Subtopic 3.3 Human Digestive System. Food digestion, first of all, is the process of breaking down food that is complex and larger. That means we cannot eat one whole chicken. So we have to break it down into smaller pieces. Only then we can absorb, the body can absorb the chicken as nutrient into our digestive system. So as a whole, you can see here it's a process of breaking down food that is complex and larger into molecules that are small, simple and soluble so that they can be absorbed by the cells of the body. Digestion can be divided into physical as well as chemical. Physical process occurs in two areas, mainly the mouth, where your mouth will break down food into smaller pieces with the help of teeth, tongue and saliva. The second place where physical digestion occurs is in the esophagus as well as in the large intestine, where this process, which we call as peristalsis, will occur. Peristalsis is the motion of contraction, constriction and relaxation of muscles along the esophageal wall as well as the rectal wall. This allows food as well as waste materials move along the tract. The second digestion process is the chemical process, which involves mainly enzymes and other chemicals like gastric juice. The process of breaking down food from complex molecule into simpler molecules with the help of enzymes. So we can compare here the difference between physical digestion and chemical digestion. Physical digestion happens in the mouth, does not involve enzyme. Chemical digestion happens in the mouth, stomach, duodenum and intestine, involves enzyme. But they have something in common where both of them break down food and it happens in the digestive tract. So the structure of the human digestive system, you can see here. So the mouth, the salivary glands, the esophagus, the stomach, the duodenum, the small intestine, the large intestine, rectum and anus. I will appreciate if you all can draw this diagram into your notebook. This is something that you must know because you will be learning this again in Form 4 Biology. So the food digestion process starts in the mouth, where food is chewed by the teeth. So when it's chewed, it is broken down into smaller substances. So particles of food are softened by saliva. So what you can do, you can just take some rice, chew it and see. So the teeth will begin to break it down and the saliva will soften it so that the salivary amylase in the saliva can break down the starch into maltose. Salivary amylase or saliva basically is secreted by the salivary gland in the mouth. Next, the food enters the esophagus, which is also called bolus. Here, the process of peristalsis at the wall of the esophagus pushes the food into the stomach. So as I told you just now, peristalsis is the constriction and relaxation of muscle which allows the food to move to the next part of the digestive tract. So at the stomach, walls of the stomach secrete protease and hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is a chemical which activates the protease and kills bacteria in the food that enters the stomach. So this is our first protection in the digestive tract, where it protects our body from harmful microorganisms. Protease breaks down protein into polypeptides. Food that is semi-liquid is called chyme. Next, food enters the first part of the small intestine, that is the duodenum. The liver produces bile that is stored in the gallbladder. The bile emulsifies fat into small droplets and neutralizes the acid in the chyme. So when fat is broken down or emulsified into small droplets, it is easier to break down the small droplets, and the nutrient can be absorbed by the body. The pancreas produces pancreatic juice, which contains enzymes, amylase, protease and lipase. Pancreatic amylase digests starch into maltose, protease digests polypeptide into dipeptides, and lipase digests fat into fatty acid and glycerol. All these enzyme reactions are very important. You have to remember them. Small intestine. The small intestine secretes enzymes maltase and protease. Maltase digests maltose into glucose. Glucose is the smallest substance of carbohydrate, and protease digests dipeptides into amino acid, the smallest substance in protein. So large intestine, undigested food will enter the large intestine. The process of water reabsorption happens in the large intestine. That means slowly water will be reabsorbed back into the system, the human system, especially into the blood. Rectum, food that is undigested, known as feces, enters the rectum and is stored here. So anus, feces are excreted from the body through the anus. Feces is the thigh, so it is excreted from the body through the anus. So you can see some of the enzymes here. The enzymes are actually proteins and they quicken the food digestions. That's why they are very important. So here one of the enzymes is amylase. Amylase is secreted by salivary glands and pancreas. It converts starch into maltose, or it breaks down starch into maltose. Whereas maltase, the second enzyme secreted by the small intestine, breaks down maltose into glucose. The third one is protease. It breaks down protein into polypeptide, secreted by the stomach. The fourth one, again it is protease. It breaks down polypeptide into a simpler form, which is dipeptide, secreted by the pancreas. Fifth one, secreted by the small intestine, again protease. So it breaks down dipeptide into amino acid. So number 3, number 4, number 5 is all an action by protease. So it can break down protein to polypeptide, and then polypeptide to dipeptide, and dipeptide to amino acid. The sixth one is fat. Breaking down of fat to fatty acid and glycerol done by lipase, secreted by the pancreas.
Across the whole planet, humans eat on average between 1 and 2.7 kilograms of food a day. That's over 365 kilograms a year per person, and more than 28,800 kilograms over the course of a lifetime. And every last scrap makes its way through the digestive system. Comprised of 10 organs, covering 9 meters, and containing over 20 specialized cell types, this is one of the most diverse and complicated systems in the human body. Its parts continuously work in unison to fulfill a singular task, transforming the raw materials of your food into the nutrients and energy that keep you alive. Spanning the entire length of your torso, the digestive system has 4 main components. First, there's the gastrointestinal tract, a twisting channel that transports your food and has an internal surface area of between 30 and 40 square meters, enough to cover half a badminton court. Second, there's the pancreas, gallbladder, and liver, a trio of organs that break down food using an array of special juices. Third, the body's enzymes, hormones, nerves, and blood all work together to break down food, modulate the digestive process, and deliver its final products. Finally, there's the mesentery, a large stretch of tissue that supports and positions all your digestive organs in the abdomen, enabling them to do their jobs. The digestive process begins before food even hits your tongue. Anticipating a tasty morsel, glands in your mouth start to pump out saliva. We produce about 1.5 liters of this liquid each day. Once inside your mouth, Chewing combines with the sloshing saliva to turn food into a moist lump called the bolus. Enzymes present in the saliva break down any starch. Then your food finds itself at the rim of a 25-centimeter long tube called the esophagus, down which it must plunge to reach the stomach. Nerves in the surrounding esophageal tissue sense the bolus's presence and trigger peristalsis, a series of defined muscular contractions. That propels the food into the stomach, where it's left at the mercy of the muscular stomach walls, which pound the bolus, breaking it into chunks. Hormones secreted by cells in the lining trigger the release of acids and enzyme-rich juices from the stomach wall that start to dissolve the food and break down its proteins. These hormones also alert the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder to produce digestive juices and transfer bile, a yellowish-green liquid that digests fat, in preparation for the next stage. After 3 hours inside the stomach, the once shapely bolus is now a frothy liquid called chyme, and it's ready to move into the small intestine. The liver sends bile to the gallbladder, which secretes it into the first portion of the small intestine, called the duodenum. Here, it dissolves the fats floating in the slurry of chyme so they can be easily digested by the pancreatic and intestinal juices that have leached onto the scene. These enzyme-rich juices break the fat molecules down into fatty acids and glycerol for easier absorption into the body. The enzymes also carry out the final deconstruction of proteins into amino acids and carbohydrates into glucose. This happens in the small intestine's lower regions, the jejunum and ileum, which are coated in millions of tiny projections called villi. These create a huge surface area to maximize molecule absorption and transference into the bloodstream. The blood takes them on the final leg of their journey to feed the body's organs and tissues. But it's not over quite yet. Leftover fiber, water, and dead cells sloughed off during digestion make it into the large intestine, also known as the colon. The body drains out most of the remaining fluid through the intestinal wall. What's left is a soft mass called stool. The colon squeezes this byproduct into a pouch called the rectum, where nerves sense it expanding and tell the body when it's time to expel the waste. The byproducts of digestion exit through the anus, and the food's long journey, typically lasting between 30 and 40 hours, is finally complete. TED-Ed is a nonprofit. If you value our work, please consider supporting it on patreon.com/TEDEd.
Next, we will look at the formative practice 3.3. So we have finished with digestion. You have seen the video, which is very detailed. So complete formative practice 3.3 in your notebook, and don't forget to copy your notes as well. So hope to see you soon. Bye.